You're having fights and arguments regarding money. Your wife is shouting at you, screaming at you. There are arguments because you have lack of money, or how do you handle your money, and because of it. And most gurus will tell you it's because of money, and you got to budget your money, and you got to talk about it and solve the problem. But I think otherwise. In this particular video, I'm going to go deeper into the root cause of why you are fighting with money or fighting about money. What is the mindset that leading to this kind of behavior? What are the changes that you got to make in yourself? And obviously, when you change, your wife will change because your wife is your reflection. And finally, how can you connect in spite of your struggles with regard to money? Continue to watch this video. Hi, my name is Val, and I help men to bring back loads of love and laughter into their marriage. In this particular video, I'm going to bust some of the myths about why couples fight about money, and I'll give you specific directions to go about to bring connection and love into your relationship. Bring back the old ways of hugs and kisses. So let's jump into the session and let's look at the first thing. So the way I've divided this whole session is to understand the deeper aspect of money. The second thing I'm going to talk about is the goal that you should have. And it's not about the money goal to end the fights, it's something else. The next thing is, what is the mindset that you got to have? I'm going to talk about two types of mindsets. And then finally, I'm going to talk about the behavior, because it is not about what is happening, it's about how you behave. So before we talk about money, a quick disclaimer. The quick disclaimer is this: I know that I'm talking to you as a man, and you might feel that at times I'm saying that you're the one who has to change. And when you hear that, you might feel that, is it that only men are wrong? Is it that only men have to change? The answer is no. It is that both the partners have to change. But the truth is, both the partners will not change at the same time. One has to change first, and the other one will follow the lead. Follow the lead. So, when in your case, I want you to know that your wife is your reflection. So, when you change in a systematic way, your wife will change. And that's the reason I'm trying to help you. It is a man, it is to a man from a man. All right. So, and the second thing is, when I'm talking about money in this particular video, I'm not talking about the how you spend the money. That's a different kind of topic that I can focus on. I'm not talking about how do you spend the money and what are the values. I'm going to make a different video, separate video for that. In this particular video, my focus is to do with the fights that arise because you're going through a financial challenge. Okay, that's going to be my focus. So with that, let us jump in and let's talk about the first thing. When I said understand, what you need to understand is this: the fights that you're having in your relationship are not about money. It's not about money. It's not because of the lack of money. So let me explain what I mean by this. Assume that you have a great challenge. Let's say a couple is having a great challenge with finances, and then one fine day they become really lucky. The husband has got a lottery for himself, and in that lottery they win, let's say, 3 crore rupees. Now my question is, will they stop fighting about money now because they have the money, or will they stop fighting? Will they stop fighting about the money, or will they stop fighting? The answer is, they will stop fighting about the money. They will continue to fight about something else. In other words, what I want you to know is, in order to fight, you do not need a reason. You can fight about the toilet seat. You can say that the toilet seat has to be down or up, and your wife says otherwise. You can talk about the toothpaste and fight about it. Your wife says the toothpaste, you have to press it from the bottom, and you say you can press it from anywhere, and you can have a fight. So, what's the conclusion? The conclusion is, if you're having fights about in your relationship and you think it is about money, it is not about money. It is about, let me come back to my mind map. It is about this particular important thing, and that is the connection in your relationship. In other words, Right now, because of the challenges with regard to money, you are having a stressful situation. And because of the stressful situation, you are not able to connect. And that's where the problem is. So once you have understood this, let me help you understand what really happens in our mind when we are stressed out. It could be about the money, it could be about the in-laws, it could be about anything. When we feel stressed out, what happens in our mind and how does that translate into our behavior and how does it create problems in our relationship? So let us go into the next thing, that is, what is the goal? The goal is not fixing the money problem. It is not fixing the money problem, because by fixing the money problem, hoping that things will change will be useless. Of course, you got to fix the money problem, but don't ever think that by fixing this, everything will be fine. What you need to do is, instead of along with fixing the money problem, you also need to fix the relationship problem, because this is not a money problem. It at the basis, it is a relationship problem. So how do you fix the relationship problem? The way to fix the relationship problem is, first thing, you got to focus on the mindset. It is all to do with mindset. So there are two kinds of mindsets you can have. The first one is called the victim mindset. So what's a victim mindset? Victim mindset is a mindset when we are going through a stressful situation, we might have a fight or an argument, and at the end of it, our brain start saying to ourselves that, oh, poor you, she doesn't want to understand, she doesn't care, she doesn't think about you. What happens to my wife? Her brain starts saying the same thing, and that's why we start having fights, arguments, disconnects. So this is a victim mindset. Now there is a second kind of mindset that you got to have if you want to connect in spite of the money challenges, is called a hero mindset. Hero mindset is when I start looking at the situation from my spouse's perspective and I understand what she is going through because of the money challenges, I relax myself. I calm down because I understand her pain that is making her to behave the way she's behaving. And what happens in the process? What happens in the process is the mirror neurons kick in. It means that when you start connecting with her, when you start understanding her situation, these mirror neurons, basically, what are mirror neurons? Mirror neurons are neurons that get triggered in our brain and they make us to behave just like the other person behaves. So when you start getting into a hero mindset, when you start going to your spouse's side, when you start behaving in a way that makes her feel loved, she also starts doing the same. So you got to move from victim mindset to hero mindset in spite of going through the situation that you are in. Good. Now, that once you get into that, now let's move to the next part. And the next part is you got to focus on the behavior. So once again, let me say this. It's not a money problem, it's a relationship problem. How do you fix the relationship problem? Is fixing the mindset, fixing the behavior. So what about the behavior? When a couple is going through a difficult phase in their relationship, and in this case, it is because of the money problem. It could be because of the in-laws, it could be because of anything else, but in this case, it's because of the money problem. The couples behave in a particular way, and they're called disaster behavior. So I'm going to talk about both these types. They're called master and disaster behaviors, and this is by John Gottman, one of the experts on relationships. And he says there are couples who have a miserable marriage. They demonstrate something called disaster behaviors. And what I want you to check is, as you're going through this money problem, I want you to check what are the disaster behaviors that you are demonstrating in your relationship. So let me talk about the disaster behaviors, and then I'm going to talk about the master behaviors. So what are the disaster behaviors? There are four of them, but I'm going to focus on just two of them because these are the easiest ones to understand and the most common. And they are criticism and defensiveness. In other words, because of this money problem, there is a lot of criticism and defensiveness in your relationship. It means that whenever you're talking to each other, you're pointing finger at each other. That means one partner is telling the other person, it's because of you we are having this problem. And the other person is either doing one of the two. He's saying, no, it's not because of me, it's because of you. Or the other partner is saying, no, it's not because of me. I'm a great guy. And when we are doing this, we are going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth with criticism and defensiveness. And because this criticism, defensiveness, in simple words, arguments, fights, and because of this, we are disconnected. Now, what most people do and think is it's because of the money problem. They start solving the money problem, and then the money comes in. But in spite of the money coming in, they are still not connected because the criticism and defensiveness still exist in their relationship. So instead of doing this, what you need to do is you got to focus on the master behaviors. And master behaviors are five and very simple to understand. The first one is appreciation. How can I appreciate my partner in every tiny situations possible? How can I appreciate my partner for everything she's doing? Now, when you do this, initially you might find it weird. Like, why should I say, why should I appreciate my partner for everything? Because isn't it her duty to do something? Of course not. I want you to think from a perspective of there's nothing free in the world. Everything you got to pay for. And appreciation is a way you acknowledge. And what happens to your wife when you appreciate? Initially, she's going to notice what you're doing. She's going to doubt what you're doing. She's going to resist. She's going to tell you, what is this naughty? You're appreciating me all the time. Why do you need to appreciate me? She even might test you. Even might shout at you. But trust me, with time, she's going to take in that appreciation. And that appreciation is going to calm her down, make her relaxed. And when she feels relaxed, she will not talk about the money. She'll start thinking about how can I support this man to bring in the money? Because right now your wife is stressed out and your appreciation will make her feel relaxed. The second behavior is gratitude. There are a lot of things that your wife is doing for you. And when you show gratitude, when you thank her for even those small things, obviously there is a process like she'll notice, doubt, resist, all that is going to happen. But eventually she is going to acknowledge you. In fact, in our community, we have a community called Awesome Husbands Hub. And within our community, we train men to do this consistently. And when they do it consistently over a period of time, what happens is the mirror neurons kick in. As I said, your wife is your reflection. Their wife also start doing the same. The stress in their relationship comes down and they can focus on bringing more money into the relationship by focus on their work. So the second thing is gratitude. And in case if you are somebody who is curious to know what this community is about and you want to learn, just check the first comment or check the description and you will find a link to attend one of my free master classes. So this is the second thing, that is gratitude. The third thing is apology. Now, one of the questions that many times men ask me is, why should I say sorry if I'm not wrong? The answer is very simple. The reason I say sorry to my wife is not because I'm wrong or she is right. It's because whatever I did has hurt my spouse. And I'm going to understand how it has hurt my spouse and I'm going to say sorry. Now, what happens in the process is even your wife starts getting out of that mode of why should I say sorry to my husband? And she gets into a mode of the reason I need to say sorry to my husband is because he's hurt, because he's hurt. And that's where the connection happens. So the third thing is apology. The fourth one and the powerful one also is a request. It means that instead of criticizing my husband and saying that you're or my wife, instead of criticizing my wife, I say to my wife, I'm sorry, you know, can you please do this? Can you please do that? Now that also brings in that connection. And final thing is going to your partner's side. If your wife is fighting with you, arguing with you, it just means that she's going through a lot of pain, a lot of fear, a lot of doubt. What's going to happen to your future? That's what she's going through. And when you go to her side and understand her pain, understand her challenges, understand her struggles, what's going to happen to you is you will start feeling empathy for her. And because you start feeling empathy for her, you will start bringing in appreciation, you'll start bringing in gratitude, you'll start requesting her, you start um, apologizing, and because of this she will also come down, and that will bring you closer and connect you even more. So in order to summarize, this is the way I want to put it. The first thing is you are not fighting about money. What you're fighting for is connection. You're fighting about the money because you don't know how to handle the stress in the relationship. So you got to learn how do we handle the stress rather than how do we solve the problem. The second thing is, of course, you got to work on getting the money back. But in order to get the money back, you got to feel relaxed. And for that, you got to create an environment in the house that is calm and relaxed. So that's all for this video. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, please go ahead, subscribe to this channel. Also press that bell icon so that every week when I put up a video, you get a reminder. And finally, this is what I want you to do. Before you leave this video, I want you to go to the comment section and write over there, what is that one thing that you learned? So go to the comment section, write it over there, and I'm going to read it personally and I'm going to respond to you. So until we connect again, as always, keep your love story alive. Bye bye.